All right, first things first, I got to change the speaker because that came through way too loud. All right, there we go. All right, now we're back. Folks, welcome to another fantastic episode of Ask Us Anything with Emily and Kurt. Emily, good morning. You don't care.
Good
I just
morning.
said good morning. You're like, So, folks, we're here for the next hour or so. If we take a look at the banners I'm supposed to put up, let's get right to it. If you've got questions or comments, we'd love to see those in the chat. That's how we know that you need something. Ask us a question, and hopefully we can come up with an answer. If you want to try LifterLMS, you haven't tried it yet, go to lifterlms.com/try/try. That gets you a 30-day hosted demo site that is fully populated, like sample students, sample courses, sample groups, sample everything. And that way you can see what LifterLMS with all the different add-ons would be like, if you were to build that out. So you can take a look there, lifterlms.com/try. And then last but not least, if you said, man, I don't want to just try it, I want to do it, you can jump in with a 55% off coupon, lifterlms.com/AMA-gift, lifterlms.com/AMA-gift. And with that, let's run off to the comments. Matthew, hello, everyone. I don't know what the 8 with a smile is. What does 8 with a smile mean?
I think it's just some eyes.
Eyes?
For the smile face.
Like wide
it's
eyes. Like hello, everyone. Like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Delphine says I'm echoing. Maybe that's because I'm shouting. Del. My house is kind of empty. I feel alone. I'm in a cave. I'm in a dark cave now that I've painted. All right. Good morning from North. Is it Cowacan or Cowichan?
No clue.
No clue. Doesn't matter. I'm not echoing. Now it's better. Miraculously, now it's better. It might be because I changed that stupid speaker. I have so I set up my workstation with this Mac Mini here, and I have a monitor here, and I have a monitor here, and then of course you have the speaker that comes with Mac, right? But what I did was I set each monitor with a different volume level. So I have one monitor at like half volume and another monitor at like full volume. So if I'm in a call and like it's hard to make out what they're saying, I just switch the speaker selection on the main settings, boom, and it doubles the volume. I thought that was like a pretty cool way to do that. I used to hook up to this giant Bluetooth speaker, and I did that for a long time because I play a lot of music. But yeah. And she says, Cowichan. Okay. Now we're there. Well, and now look at us. Out of things to talk about. Folks, you need to jump in with your comments. I'll slap that up on the screen here. Jump in with any of your comments. And with that, Emily, have you worked on anything new this week?
It's a good question. I haven't really talked about this project I've been working on for the last couple of weeks. It's like I'm training for barbers in Texas, continuing education. I've been doing a lot of continuing education recently. It's been fun.
Continuing ed is cool. I have a project. I think I told you this. Most of my projects lately have not really been projects. They've been like coaching. And it's, I let people do it. Sure. If you want to, pay me to jump on a Zoom with you and show you how things work, we could do that. And this one is a continuing education program that teaches teachers. And they launched last year successfully. And then this year they wanted to have people like redo courses, and immediately we're running into stumbling blocks. Like, how do I get this user out? This user can't sign up because they already have it. The email this, like the expiration dates and all those things that the continuing education add-on fixed. They're having all those growth problems there. And so we've shared a lot of Zoom time, and we've got things set up and figured out. And they're my first client using the continuing education add-on correctly.
Nice.
Oh, So I think I told you this. I went figure skating over the weekend with my daughter, and I took a big
Mm-hmm.
header, fell down.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I shattered my shoulder, but I didn't. But it still hurts. Like it's days later, and I'm like, okay, this is good. I can brush my teeth. That's good. And then I go to get something out of the cupboard, and I'm like, ow, ow. So hopefully that heals up soon. The good news is I can still use a keyboard.
Yes. Yes. That's really good. I'm sorry you hit your shoulder. We
Well,
should make a Lifter LMS medical
sling.
add-on.
Make a sling.
Yeah. The Lifter LMS sling.
A LifterLMS sling. With all the mountain biking I do, that's probably so that actually made me feel good about myself. I went skating all day Saturday, which is not normal, and then I still had to be a mountain bike coach on Sunday. And when I got up on Sunday morning, I was like, I sure hope I can ride a bike today. Oh my god! And went out and led practice, and it was great. I even dusted off a few kids and left them in the woods. So that made me feel like accomplished, right? Like the kids are always surprised. The kids are always surprised. Like last year we were in Topeka, Kansas, and there's like a real downhill section in Topeka. And I moved here from Southern California, which has a lot of downhill mountain biking, right? And so the kids were like, "Hey, can we go faster?" Because it's practice, right? So in practice, a couple kids, "Hey, can we go faster? We want to take a hot lap or whatever." I said, "Yeah, sure. Follow me, right?" And I start going down the hill, and I'm all like, "Shoop, shoop, pop, beep, boop, pop, pop, pop." And then we get down to the bottom of the hill. They're like, "Holy crap, you're fast!" And it's like, well, kind of surprised you. You thought I was just old and fat. Turns out I can actually ride a bicycle. So it is fun. It is fun to do. Dell's got not a question, but more of a thing. And it was something I actually wanted to kind of mention today. She says, how about talking about some other plugins that are used with Lifter? I certainly don't know what they all are and would like to know more. One fairly large announcement came out this week regarding Fluent Cart. So I've done videos already for Lifter, and I'm not going to recant the whole benefits of Fluent Cart Pro to people because we have content for that. But Fluent Cart Pro integrates automatically with LifterLMS, which is really nice. And then their update this week, they added a bunch of blocks that are full site editing specific. And so a lot of the features that you could do with Fluent Cart, with the older style of editing, a lot of those those features are now available, say, like with SkyPilot. So the LifterLMS theme, SkyPilot, is a full site editing theme. And so if you take a look at Fluent Cart Pro, they have made it full site editing compatible, compliant, whatever you want to say. And they've added things like a mini checkout window and things like that. So you can do some pretty cool on-screen checkouts and stuff like that with your full site editing theme now, which is pretty cool. All right. Matt jumps in. He says, I'm looking for the best solution that doesn't require a subscription fee to join, but still allows each member to log in and purchase courses while signed in. I'm not sure what steps to take next. So LifterLMS, you can set it up as a membership, like with subscriptions, with recurring billing if you want, or you could sell courses a la carte. So you don't have to require a membership. You don't have to require a subscription. It's literally like just selling a digital product. So let's say you wanted to make a course, how to knit a sweater for your kitten, and you're going to charge $19 for that course. You could literally just have that course for sale for $19. People would use an email and password to sign up for the course because WordPress requires that you have some way to track somebody. And then you would give them the course, and the reporting would be fully active. Like you would be able to know how much of the course they consumed, if they passed a quiz, if you put a quiz in there, all that stuff. LifterLMS, the free version, the free core plugin available in the repository, would allow you to build the course, to manage membership, and it has a manual payment gateway. So you can generate revenue any which way you want, and kind of manually approve students to come in and take the course material, or you could just get the Stripe add-on if you wanted to, and automate the e-commerce side of it where you would sell directly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's Lifter LMS is incredibly flexible in that way. I just had another call today. I can't go into specifics, right? Because it's their project, not my project. But I did have another call today with what I'm hoping is going to be our new client. But it's another one of these situations, Emily, where they're using Lifter LMS, but they really have like a third party site that is their proprietary stuff, right? And so they want to use Lifter LMS kind of as the gateway to access the other site with all the proprietary stuff in it. I just did a setup like this for someone in the Netherlands, and these folks are here in the States. It's a pretty interesting take on things, but they sell and they market access through their WordPress website using Lifter LMS. And when someone goes to register in Lifter, they actually get ported to the third-party site, like with an OpenID connection or something like that. They generate their user account and all that stuff there, and then it redirects them back to the LMS so that they can do the courses and all the stuff, all the learning content. But because they're connected to that third-party site, when they need to go do their labs, they're able to port directly over to the third-party site that has the proprietary stuff that people don't want to put in WordPress. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. That is pretty interesting.
Guess who I interviewed today on the WP Tonic show?
Matt Mullenweg?
No, that's next week.
Okay.
We're going to interview him next week. It was the guy's name is Raitis. He's from the Baltic countries over there in Europe, but they're the people that run WP Bakery. And I haven't used WP Bakery in forever. And it was really interesting to talk to somebody, from that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
They have over 6 million websites on WP Bakery. Would you have guessed that?
No. I never even touched it. In the years I've been in WordPress. But I'm sure it's great. I've heard a lot of things about it. It just doesn't really permeate the Lifter LMS community that strongly.
No. I remember one of my most argumentative, couldn't wait to fire them customers was a WP Bakery user. I was like, what is this crap? This is different.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I figured out how to use it, but it didn't take long for me to get out of that project. That I had to fire that client. He was absolutely crazy. But you run into crazy, right? Crazy is just a fact of life. That'll happen if you're selling sneakers in the mall. Someone's bound to come in and be crazy. You got to throw them out. It's a CLE, continuing learning education, maybe, right? And would like to have each user have its own profile. Yeah. Yep. It is used to private site plugin. We do have a private site feature that you can activate with Lifter LMS, where only members can sign in to the site. But then that kind of requires that you have a way for them to become members.
Yeah, Lifter private site's probably not the way to go. That one is more for like internal training. We were trying to make a product at the time for people who just wanted like internal training. So at Lifter LMS, we have like, how to handle support tickets, how to do videos for our YouTube channel, stuff like that. And it's all documented on our private site. And the only way someone can get access is if someone at Lifter LMS creates them as a user. And so for your case, I would probably recommend just using Lifter's membership features out of the box, having that free membership, promoting it right there on the homepage or whatever your sales page is that says, hey, get this membership, get it into our content. And your course content can be restricted to people who have the membership, but then anyone who shows up can get the membership. That's kind of what I'm picturing, right? Like anyone can get the membership, but then you have to have the membership to buy the course content. I guess it's like a free opt-in, basically. What do you think, Kurt?
Yeah, yeah, everything you're describing makes sense. Matthew comments here and says, "Yeah, that's where I got stuck." It's
Oh,
we just tend to over, as human beings, we tend to over complexify things. We try to enter into like this um intellectual kind of concept of how difficult things could be, and then the reality of it is that lifters made things really really simple. So one of the reasons I really really like lifter, so I've used other tools, I still use other tools, like I've got creator LMS, I've got LearnDash, I've got lifter LMS, obviously I've got LearnUpon, which is a SaaS platform, out there in the ether. I've got that, I've got Moodle. So I've got a ton of learning products that we do through my agency here at Manana No Mas, and a lot of it is, like grandfathered usage. That as we gain clients, we manage their learning content for them. Um, One of the things I really really like about Lifter LMS, and why I was attracted to it over a decade ago, was the membership and the learning tools. The management of members and learning is all in one package. So I'm not having to like make things complex and go, okay, well, this is going to do my courses, but I need this tool for memberships and this tool for content restriction and this tool for a payment gateway and this tool for notifications. Like I don't have to like Frankenstein something together and then have all the difficulty of integrating and making things work. Lifter LMS comes complete pretty much out of the box as far as signing up members, giving them access to courses, and restricting the content to people that shouldn't have access to the content. It does it all right out of the box. And if you go to the Academy at lifterlms.com under the Learn menu item, we have a thing called Academy. We have a bunch of free courses in there on like how to use WordPress, how to use Swarm in WordPress, how to get started with Lifter LMS, and all of those features that I just mentioned, because I kind of like fire hosed them at you. It's all built in there, and it can walk you through it step by step by step by step by step. Adam Silver, hello, Mr. Adam Silver. Welcome to the show. Adam's a friend. He comes here a lot. If you like to run, you want to follow Adam at runadam.run. Let's see here. Matthew, you did ask one question. Like, does the user sign up through WS Form? I hate to confuse matters. It's WordPress. If you wanted them to sign up through WS Form, you could make that happen. But Lifter LMS has its own registration and enrollment forms that are baked into the system. And so just to keep things simple, I would just use the standard, purchase, enrollment, registration, all that stuff through Lifter, and it just plain works. It just plain works. One of the things you could do, because I could tell by the kind of questions that you have, is that you're one of those people that would just do awesome with the trial website. If you got yourself a demo site at lifterlms.com/try, it only costs $1, and it's a fully populated, fully hosted, full website for you that you get to play in as your own. So you can add plugins, you can do silly things, you can break it, you can do whatever you want, but it's not something that you have to build and babysit because it's already built and it's ready for you to play with. So that might be a really good option for you to kind of play with how the forms work. What's the student experience like, to sign up and get through something. That's where I find that these trial sites are really good for that stuff. Let's see. Dell comes back and says, we don't use memberships, but we have individual user profiles on the Lifter with Food Safe Manitoba. Food Safe Manitoba. All right. There are options actually with Lifter. Like if you're like, I want everyone to have a user profile. I want everyone to be able to be in a discussion group. We have add-ons for all of that stuff. And again, that would be something in the trial or the demo site that you would be able to explore and see, like, what features do you actually need? I'll just be real transparent. And, one of the things I liked about working with Lifter was they're totally cool if you tell people how to go the cheap route, right? Because we want to help people where they're at. We don't want to oversell people on stuff they're not going to use. So when I first got into Lifter, I bought the big package and I just loaded everything up. And then I promptly failed at launching my first series of courses because I had built this giant, huge website with all the stuff in it, but I didn't have any users yet. So when they came in, there was like, where's the energy? Where's the feeling? Where's the other users? I don't even know how this thing works, right? It was like this big, confusing thing that I built. And I found that I was much more successful if I just launched a simple learning site with membership tools so people could register and sign in. They could buy courses. And then as the project grows, as I get 10 people, 15 people, 25 people, then I start peppering in some of those features. Then I start peppering in like, hey, if you would like to have your own user profile, we've added this element to the menu, right? You send an email out to everybody and they go, oh, and they click on that profile. Oh, cool. I can add a profile picture and a cover and I get my own news feed. Just things like that. And so that's kind of how I've gone after some of that. Matthew says, where do I customize the sign up page? Well, we went straight from how do these basic things work to how do I customize this? Customizing the sign up page. You've got a couple of things to consider, Matthew, because it depends on what you mean by customize. If you need to add elements to your enrollment form, like you want to know their birth date, what size t-shirt they wear, what size are their shoes, and you want them to fill that stuff out, you're going to need to add fields to the sign up, right? To the form. And so we do have an add-on called Custom Fields that allows you to add fields to those forms. Emily can probably do a screen share and show you where that would be. The other side of your question, of course, is, hey, no, that's not what I meant, Kurt. I meant I want to have a pink page with a rhinoceros in the background as an image and have the form lay over that image. Well, in that case, you would probably use whatever page builder editing tool that you have in WordPress. You would build that page the way that you would like it to appear. And then you would use a short code to put that enrollment feature onto that page. And we have, if you go to LifterLMS and go to the search box and type in short code, you would see a whole list of all the short codes that are available with LifterLMS and how you can embed that dynamic material throughout your entire website. Mm-hmm. What do you think, Emily? Am I crazy?
No, I think that works. I'm happy to do a demo of it so you know it's available out of the box. If we go here, operating system, allow, this is the screen.
And I should mention, it's going to be really hard to rattle my cage today because I'm listening to Boney James.
No, that's okay. Everyone try to rattle Kurt's cage in chat.
It's going to be hard to do. It's going to be hard to do.
It's like a tongue twister. Okay. So when we look at the front end of our website and we think about where we're going to get people to sign up, in this case, this website has a bunch of courses. So you'll see that our call to action on the homepage goes to the course catalog where you have a bunch of courses to choose from. In your case, instead of going to the course page, your calls to action may be to just sign up for the membership or see what's included in a membership. And then that then takes you to the sign up page. Wherever you decide to place the button that asks people to sign up, you'll usually see our checkout page. In this case, what we're going to do is go to a course, go to this course maybe. I don't know if I'm enrolled. Oh, I am enrolled. Let me kick myself out real quick so I can show you our purchase page, what it looks like for somebody to sign up. Since I'm the admin, I think I may have enrolled myself with a membership order here. So let me just expire my access real quick so that when I view the course, instead of telling me to continue with the course, it should tell me to pay for it. Maybe. Oh, no, not completed. We're going to say canceled, expired, update order. There we go. So now we should see you're not asked to continue the course and instead you're asked to sign up. Instead of this plan being free, for your example, I'll need to make it paid.
$1 million.
$1 million. Okay, paid. $1 million. Is that 1 million? That's yes. Okay.
$1
One-time payment.
million.
So we have that. If I view the course, instead of free, it's now $1 million. And
$1 million.
and my recommendation is to use this billing information page here. So you would use the same page for signing up for a membership as you would for a course. Even if the plan is free, because for your membership sign up, it's free, and for your course sign up, it's paid. Both the free and paid sign up can go through this billing information form. And I might even recommend changing the name. Like you mentioned, WS form is available. You could also create like a different registration page for your membership if you wanted to. It's possible. Like, so you could think about it. Like, do I want a different registration page for my each individual course and my membership? Or do I just want one registration page for all of them? I'm going to do the one registration page to keep it simple. So let's say registration information. So we'll have that, because whether you're purchasing or registering for free, we're going to need some registration information. I might even update the name of the page from purchase, because this accommodates both free and paid plans, the free membership and the paid courses. We could say enrollment form or sign up form, or what would be something that unilaterally applies to a free membership and subsequently paid courses.
Get in the game.
That sounded incredible, honestly. Like that audio bit, we're gonna have to cut that from, we're gonna have to cut that from live stream and make it one of those playables. Get in the game, registration information.
Let's get it poppin'.
Let's get it poppin'. I remember that. Yes. That's a Lifter callback from like 8 years ago.
Let's get it poppin'.
Let's get it poppin'. Get in the game, registration information. Now, on my registration form, you see that it's asking for an email address and a password. Whereas when you see my sign up here, it's just straight on to first name, which is right here. I'm logged into the website as the admin, so it already knows my username and password, or my email and my password. If I wasn't logged in, you would see email and password right here. And then that's it. You can optionally add address if you want to, but the fundamental information you need, email, password. If you want to ask for first and last name, that works too. You have your order summary, and it's probably going to be free if it's your membership and paid if it's your courses. They fill in their credit card information, click buy now or enroll now if it's free, and you're done. So that's a little expose about the default LifterLMS registration page, how you can use it for both a free and paid membership. If you want to use WS form and automate or WP to, like, say when someone fills out this WS form, enroll them in a membership, you could do that. It's a few extra steps. If you wanted to do custom forms, so the membership page has a specific sign up, maybe with customized questions, the LifterLMS custom fields add-on works for you, because it allows you to separate your sign up forms and really customize them. But if you're not using custom fields, if you're on the free core plugin, you have what I just displayed as the main option. Boney James, Kurt in chat says, Boney James is one of the kings of sax smooth jazz. Delphine says, I prefer Kenny G.
We're having a great time.
And then Matthew did look into BuddyPress. BuddyPress has sign-up forms too. I think the simplest way to get people into a membership is the setup that I just showed there. Get into your membership, get into your course. LifterLMS is a registration page for you. Just customize the messaging. And BuddyPress is going to expand your website into a Facebook-like experience. And it's going to be a little more technical setup, and you can always add it later. So think about it.
Yeah. BuddyPress and BBPress are like interactive creative features that I think should be added after there's an audience on the website. Like, I think the courses need to be the primary lead, the benefits of membership would be, you know, access to the course. And then as the tribe grows, as the site picks up energy, because here's the deal, when you have an area where people can chat or have a discussion in, you want to make sure there's people in there that can actually chat and discuss. If people sign in and they see that the last comment was from 2023, well, they're not going to comment. They're just going to assume it's a dead channel. And so to me, it's really important that we build things at the proper pace at the proper times. And again, this is not me talking down to folks. I have learned all of this stuff the hard way. I screwed it all up at the beginning, and then I had to like restructure and back things out and then figure out, you know, how am I going to coach other people to find success in the space when I have utterly failed? And it took me some time to kind of put these processes together, these timings together. I will say, you know, after 5 years of failure with the Power Sport Academy, we are turning a decent penny on that. I mean, I'm wearing button-down shirts on camera now.
Nice. I feel you. I feel you. I got a focus blur camera now. That's fancy.
Yeah, focus blur
microphone.
camera. It's nice, and I love that sweater. Like it's 55 here in Kansas today, so it'd be overkill. But man, I just picture like you're up in the Pacific Northwest. It's probably just a little titch of humid, a little cool, crisp in the air, and you put on a big, thick sweater. Oh, that's so nice. Big hot cup of coffee, maybe a little cider.
Yeah.
Little vin brulee. Oh, now we're talking. You got to be careful with the vin brulee though, because it stains.
I don't even know what that is.
First time I had it, I thought this is going to be disgusting. It was Christmas. I was walking through a historic city in Italy. I was totally lost and awashed in my surroundings. And I'm walking with a friend, and they have like all of these like tent canopy things up. Like the whole city is like a walking marketplace. And there's chocolatiers with giant booths of chocolate. And there's all this stuff going on. It's like, this is amazing. And the friend that I'm walking with goes, "Oh, they've got vin brulee. We should try that." And I went, "That sounds disgusting." And then I had some and stumbled back to the hotel later. Vin brulee is a hot red wine drink. And so they, like, you know how you have hot cider here in the States?
Yeah.
They do that with red wine, and they add like spices into it, like cinnamon, nutmeg, maybe a dash of simple sugars, right? Maybe. But it like reduces, it becomes thicker and heartier and has just the right, like, ooh, that's good. I drank a ton of that when I was walking in that city. It was very good. I made vin brulee for the people here at my house. My daughter liked it. Pardon me. My daughter liked it, but my wife was not impressed. And a lot goes a little way, meaning it took a lot of wine to make a little vin brulee. It seemed like, hey, that whole bottle of wine's gone. What happened to it? Oh, we drank that sucker. So, and by the way, my daughter's over 21 before anyone comes running for me. Dell says, well, Dell said, okay, where am I at? Okay, here we go. I was trying to get to, I don't normally listen to jazz. I was going to, shame on you, Dell. You gotta, I listen to all kinds of stuff. I have a world music channel that I get lost in when I'm like really working on a big project. I just love it. Your demo was awesome, Emily. Deborah's in. Deborah, welcome to the call. Deborah seems like a new name to me. Delisle. Deborah Delisle. That sounds like a new name to me. Is that familiar to you, Emily? No? Welcome to LifterLMS and Ask Us Anything call, Deborah. I have a private, restricted, internal employee training site. I feel like we're walking back in time 15 minutes. Regarding embedded video, I want to use the MP4 format. Perfect. But then I can also apply LifterLMS controls such as no advance, completion required. I tried Vimeo. They put their logo, which links to the Vimeo on Vimeo site. I don't want the employees going there. Okay. Totally get what you're trying to do. Okay, Deborah. There are a few things. I want to, oh, she's been on here a few times, she says. Well, I'm sorry. I apologize if I don't remember you, Deborah, because now I feel like a jerk for pointing out that I thought you were new. In any case, welcome. It's great to have you back. I am going to share with you just some stuff. Not everything I say is gospel, right? I'm always prepared to be wrong. I have moved multiple customers off of Vimeo. And I know that the advanced videos that we have with Lifter LMS specifies that it is for Vimeo, Wistia, or YouTube. And so you're probably thinking to yourself, well, I don't want to be on Wistia because it's too expensive out of the box. And I don't want to be on YouTube because I want my videos to be private. And now you're, pointing out an issue with Vimeo. I will tell you that if you use Presto Player as your video player and you integrate that with bunny.net. Bunny.net is another video host. I am going to go out on a limb and say you'll probably spend half as much hosting on Bunny as you would on Vimeo. It's a pay-as-you-go service, but the rate is incredibly favorable. And what a lot of people don't know is if you have bunny.net and Presto Player and Lifter LMS Advanced Videos, you can basically lie to Lifter LMS Advanced Videos and tell it that you are on Vimeo in the settings. And then you still get the benefits of, restricted player view, restricted controls, must watch until it's finished before you can go to the next lesson, all of that. And Presto Player as the video player is completely customizable. So when you load the videos into the website, you can select, like, do I want people to be able to click this button and advance 15 seconds in the video or go backwards 15 seconds in the video? You could turn that on, you could turn that off. You could let people, fast forward the video, or you could turn that off. You could turn off all player controls. You could turn on, you could eliminate full screen capability, or you could let people have full screen capability. You can pick and choose any of the features that you would want to have in your video player with Presto Player. So I am a big fan of that setup. It also does a really good job of kind of like what you're saying, right? You want to prevent people from going to the actual video source and trying to see it on the actual video source. There's no need to, right? If you're in Presto Player and it plays directly through the page, you can restrict through the player all links to anything else there. Now, if they're smart enough to do like, what do we call that? Resource code or whatever that is, right click the page, resource code, look things up in the code in the back of the site and find the root link or something. I mean, if you've got someone like that you're dealing with, you're not going to prevent that anyway. So, but there are like domain restrictions and things like that you can activate in these video hosting tools. So you can kind of prevent who actually gets in there to see stuff. I talked a lot, Emily. What do you think about any of that stuff?
Yeah, I think with a Vimeo Pro account, you won't have the logos. Uploading MP4s to your site is heavy. It's going to slow things down.
So correct me if I'm wrong. If she's using advanced videos, doesn't she need the Vimeo Pro account for that to work?
I think you could do a Vimeo free for advanced videos.
Okay.
I just don't know if it removes the logos and stuff. I thought the logo removal was Vimeo Pro that lets you do that, but yeah.
I just don't like when you have a project on Vimeo, and I've had clients go through this. You're using Vimeo, you're completely happy. It's a great service. It's an awesome service. It's reliable. The videos play. Everybody seems happy. And then all of a sudden you get successful and you have a fair amount of people watching these videos. And then all of a sudden you get a video hosting bill that's, 400% more than what you're used to paying for. That's hard to stomach. But they have those clauses in there about bandwidth usage. And when you go over that limit, it like quadruples your rate. That's the part that I don't. And then by then, let's just be realistic. By then, you've got hundreds of videos on that account, and the thought of migrating everything to something else is a pain in the butt. You're almost tempted to just pay the extortion level fee that it is.
Yeah. I use bunny.net for my videos, but it's not compatible with LifterLMS advanced videos.
unless you run it through Presto Player.
Yeah, unless you run it through Presto Player. But then you're using like bunny.net, Presto Player, and then their integration with Lifter's features.
Yeah.
It's a long workaround. I think paying for it depends on how many videos you have. It's employee training site, restricted internal employee training site. And so
I'm not gonna get that popular.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna want to watch that. Don't worry about it.
Right. That's a good point. But yeah, having those videos be mandate training, you're gonna have to pay for the Vimeo or go the long way around with a Presto Player. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, she's in about the same situation I was in for a bit. 200 people, 30 courses. Yeah. So I was with. I'm going to share a little bit of numbers with you if you're in the corporate training space, and this is what attracted me to LifterLMS and WordPress in the first place. Picture 2,500 users in a website, but only 200 of them are active, for any given month, right? So I have 200 active monthly users, and we had about 60 courses. We had some legacy crud in a back folder somewhere, but we had like 60 active courses. The employer that I was working with was paying $400,000 a year just for hosting and maintenance of that learning management system. And so that was one of those things where I was like, I get it. Like sometimes training is that necessary evil for corporate, and we just absorb expenses and we just move along. Kind of like that Vimeo situation I described. Like, so what if the bill goes and quadruples, right? You just absorb it and keep moving. But when I look at what I can do with LifterLMS in WordPress for those same stats and how I could drive down that expense by 75, 80% as an agency and still make a profit for myself, that's what really attracted me to Lifter and the WordPress space.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's pretty sizable. 200 people, 30 courses. I'm imagining each course probably has at least 10 or 15 lessons. Each lesson's probably 30-minute video. So yeah, you've got a fair amount of content there. But yeah, I wouldn't hesitate to run it over to bunny.net and link it through Presto Player. But if you have to have that advanced video feature for, blah, blah, blah. Or like Emily said, just tell corporate, hey, we need to sign up for Vimeo Pro so the link goes away. So the what do they call that? The badging, the watermark. So the watermark goes away.
Yeah.
All right. Manessel has a question in here, and we kind of skipped past. I was having so much fun. I'm moving from a free course to a paid course. Hey, we're getting revenue. What's the best practice for the students that were already registered before the course became paid? Manessel, that is a quandary. That is a quandary. The way that LifterLMS works, and I'm just going to throw this out there, and you do with it what you will. Let's say that you gave them free access for lifetime in the access plan, and they signed up. In the LifterLMS world, they are grandfathered in for free forever. And if you change the pricing in the access plan, or if you put like an expiration on the access plan, like, well, now you only get 6 months of access. Remember that users are always grandfathered in at what they originally signed up for. So if I made it $25 a year, right, and someone signed up and subscribed to it at $25 a year, and then next year I said, well, now it's going to be $50 a year. The people that signed up $25 a year are always going to be at $25 a year. But from the time that I change the price, everyone that signs up afterwards is going to pay $50 a year. So when people come to me, especially when clients come to my agency and they're like, hey, we want to go to this revenue model. What do you want to do? To me, the only really the only real way to do it is to change the basic offer. So maybe before you had just the course, right? So maybe you leave the original people with access to the course, but then you create a membership with social tools and discussion groups and live coaching and all the things that you want to grow into an e-learning platform anyway. And then you say, oh, if you want to keep with just the course, you're already in there. But if you want to join this membership, it's $100 a month, or however you want to phrase that. But typically, if you're going to convert people from free to paid, you need to change the offer and then migrate that offer with value. It's a very difficult proposition. I will share this publicly because I have no fear in saying things out loud. I bought a lifetime deal with Adillo Video Hosting, and everyone that was ever on the show before knew that I was a big fan of Adillo Video Hosting because of the lifetime deal. And I was with them for like 5 years, hundreds of videos, and I actively used them a lot. And then all of a sudden I got hey, you got 30 days to pick your new subscription. They didn't change the platform. They didn't change the features. They didn't change the look of anything. They didn't even change like the color of the login button. Like they didn't change anything. They just said it. They sent an email that said, we've determined that this is economically unfeasible and we're going to have to go to a revenue model where we create more money. And I thought, well, if you're going to just charge me money now after I already bought a lifetime access, that doesn't seem right. And so I bailed and moved everything to bunny.net. That's the fear you run into. You run into a fear like if you've already given people access and then you try to take away the access you've promised them, you might lose a lot of people. You might suffer a lot of attrition. The attrition isn't the worst part. The worst part is like what I just did. I just got on a public forum and said Adillo's a ripoff. And so the last thing you want is for your people to go, oh, I used to have access to this thing and they took it away, and I guess they're a ripoff. So you want to be very strategic. I'm really, really big on this. When I help clients from an agency perspective, I'm really big on what's the strategy? Who's our avatar? Who are we selling to? How many people are in here now? What is the overall expense to us to allow them to keep that access? How do we generate revenue off of new users? How do we attract those new users? And what features could we add to maybe convert the existing users into a paid mindset? And I would run through all of that from a what makes sense to your current users, what makes sense to you, and what are you willing to risk in changing your current messaging. That was a lot. Who knew this was going to be a business consulting call? Ask us anything. And the jazz is working. I swear this is ice water. It's not vodka.
Nice. Yeah. It's a lot of good points. Free to paid. You can on a technical level to boot everybody out. You could, if you're technically adept, you could do a SQL query just to say get rid of all these enrollments. That's in the PHP My Admin area. That one is an option, but on a technical level, if you're trying to mass unenroll, there might be something like a CRM integration that you could do, an automation, a little PHP function you could run on your website. There's a few ways to do it. So if you're thinking on a technical level that I am going to kick everybody out and then just change my messaging, there are some ways to do that.
He came back and said, I sure don't want to mess up with the original people. That to me speaks volumes, right? So if you do nothing but change the access plan and say, hey, now it's $50 a month for access, you don't affect the pre-existing people at all. But everyone that signs up from here forward would be paying, right? I do that a lot with new projects. I'll do hey, we've got a founders, join the founders club for $100 flat lifetime access. And then, you get 15, 20, 25 people in, and then you convert it and you go, well, now it's going to be $300 a month for a subscription or something. But you get your founders in early, you reward them for supporting your effort or getting you launched. And then those people, they're grandfathered in and they get the benefit of that. And then everyone else pays the price. Rolf from Germany. I really enjoy Rolf, Emily. I don't know what it is. I am so heavily entertained when Rolf comes to office hours. I know he says he doesn't have glow sticks, but I just picture him with glow sticks out there dancing around with the kids. EDM. Here we go. If I make a copy of my site course to a subdomain for test purposes, will the students receive a notification from the copy site too? That's a no. I guess I got to be careful how I say no. I use staging sites quite a bit. So I'll use a staging site to, make changes to a customer's website and then push those changes to production. When you're running a dynamic site with members and membership activity, you got to be careful. Like, you're not going to just like work on a staging site for 3 weeks and then push that staging site to production without like updating the data and stuff that goes with it, right? Because anyone that would have made course progress or completed a quiz or bought a course, during that transitional period, that would be lost, right? Because they would make transactions on the production site while you're doinking around in the staging site. And then if you just push that to production, it'll overwrite and you'll lose some transactions and stuff. So a lot of times in a dynamic site, I'll actually make the changes in staging, get the customer's approval, and then just duplicate those changes in production. Sometimes that's the easiest way for me to go. There's other ways to get around it. It's WordPress. Could you back up the database and then migrate and do everything together at the same time and then make sure nothing's broken? Yeah, you could do that. Sometimes I find it's easier just to work in staging, make sure it's what I want, and then go duplicate that work in production. That seems to work really good for me. When you are in staging, when you migrate a LifterLMS instance or you go to staging, you're going to see, like, by orders, a thing called staging pops up, right? And that's because you have to, whenever it senses that it's been moved, it labels itself staging. And that kind of stops the website from doing things. Like, it's not going to charge people in the payment gateway. I've noticed that, notifications, engagements, those things don't pop off of a staging website unless you're working in staging and you reset those things and you turn on your SMTP and if you're using like an SMTP server like SendGrid, like if you were to connect your staging URL to that SendGrid account or whatever, could you mistakenly turn on a staging site to duplicate the effort and double message and double charge your clients? Yeah, you could screw it up, but realistically, the way that LifterLMS is built out of the box, it has some safeguards in it so that when you create a staging site, the main production site is still doing all of the communications, notifications, engagements, e-commerce, all that's happening on production. It's not coming out of staging. Because that'd be weird. All your customers would get like a message from staging. From Brazil. Oh, Brazil's an awesome place. Brazil can be pretty scary, though, too. They have Ducati dealerships in Brazil that don't have Ducati signs on their buildings because the theft was such an issue for so long. But in Brazil, because of the taxes there, like luxury items like a Ducati is like, it'd be like you or I owning a yacht. It's a big deal.
Nice.
Culturally, it's an awesome place. Festivals, dance, music, colors. Oh, it's a great place. Did you know that Brazil is one of the highest per capita regions for plastic surgery?
I think I did know that. Yeah.
See, there's all these things that we know. Geniuses. All right, I'm going to run through these again. It's been a really good call so far, folks. I've really appreciated everybody coming in. We've got a slow start, but y'all finished strong. LifterLMS. If you want to try it, go to lifterlms.com/try. Even if you're watching this as a replay, you can go to lifterlms.com/try. That gets you a 30-day hosted example of a fully populated LifterLMS website with all the bells and whistles, and it just costs you $1. And so you get to try things out and see if you like it or not. If you would like to actually purchase Lifter LMS, I would encourage you to take advantage of the 55% off coupon. You can go to lifterlms.com/AMA-gift. lifterlms.com/AMA-gift and get 55% off. Last but not least, you've heard us, kind of mention ourselves a little bit as experts. There's a whole list of experts. If you go to lifterlms.com/experts, you will see a whole list of people there. I am listed as Manana No Mas. Emily is there as WP Course Guide. And again, there's a whole list of providers there. If you are like, hey, I really like this, but I wasn't looking to be a webmaster, I just want to run my business. If you want to hire someone to help you with your project, that would be a great source to do so. Everyone there is vetted by us, and we know what their skill set is. So that works good. Rolf says he will see us later, so he'll be on office hours. And Matthew says, I did not get the email for the office hour stream. Well, here's something that you can do, Matthew. If you have, and this goes for everybody, if you have the Universe or the Infinity bundle, check your spam box, right? Because we send that invitation out by a CRM tool. So check your spam box. The link will be there in email or spam. The other thing you can do is you can sign into the Universe and Infinity Facebook page. Anyone that has access to that Facebook page also sees a post that goes up 10 minutes before each live call. And you can just click on that link and come right to the call just by going through that restricted page. All right. And Matthew says he's on the Infinity bundle. Well, welcome to the family, and Matthew. It's great to have you. Folks, that wraps up another episode of the Ask Us Anything call. I guess I'll be seeing Matthew in about an hour with Rolf. Y'all have a good one.